Hey guys, welcome to A Girl Without a Niche, because I'm all over the place and that's on purpose. Why do I need to put myself in a box? And today, while I can say I'm all over the place as far as content is concerned, I'm also all over the place geographically. And I know that YouTube, generally speaking, is the platform where you want to be still and very studioed, but I have a 9-to-5. So by the time I get off work and I can set up my office at home to be all studio-ish, I am tired. So y'all gonna have to come with me to work. So on my way to work, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how failing is not ever failing if you learn something from it. That is cliche, I get it, but I experienced it recently and I'm really proud of myself for it. So here's what happened. What happened was I hosted a focus group so I could gather the ideas of other single women on what kinds of supports would be beneficial to them. While I have an idea of what it is that I want, I'm aware that I'm trying to curate something for the populace, and it's in my best interest to do market research. And so that's what my goal was. In that, however, I discovered that I was not talking to my ideal client. And I also understood what it is that my personal coach means when she says, if you're not talking to someone, you're talking to no one. So who is your someone? When you identify who it is that you are trying to support, help, deliver, you got to know who that person is, and you have to market to that person, but you also have to not market to the other people. So for example, if I say swim lessons, who am I talking to? Am I talking to people who are afraid of water? Am I talking to children who are learning to swim for the first time? Because the swim lessons might look differently, even though the foundation of swimming is the same in all of those groups. But the intensity or the mindset that we're having to deal with, those are going to be different based on the group that we're talking to. So that's where I'm coming from. Not all single people operate the same way, is what I found out in this focus group. I'm coming from the standpoint of, I want to facilitate community among women who love. We're good with it. However, we're not in love. We're not in a committed relationship in the moment. But there are other parts of our life that we want to fuel. And they want to maybe start a business, maybe purchase a home, maybe travel more. And while there were certain desires at some point in our life to be able to funnel those things through marriage, at a certain age, you start to understand that that might not be as possible, and you just don't want to put your life on hold anymore. So that was who I thought I was talking to. But really what I was talking to is two groups of women. One group who were super frustrated, still lighthearted, but super frustrated with how difficult the dating world is. I can relate to that. And then a group of women who were so angry, I guess, that women want to talk about dating and just, I don't want a man. And that's fine too, right? But neither of them is the ideal woman that I was trying to talk to. And so as soon as I got off that Zoom, I called someone and was like, sir, help me get myself together, because I quit before I even started. And what he said is, I don't think that you failed at all. Because what I learned about is my capacity. I learned that I actually do love in relationships, and I have no problems talking about that. That I don't. And that might be specific to the space that I'm in. While I do get excessively annoyed when I could be in a regular conversation with someone and immediately it goes to, why are you still single? As if the goodness that I am and the greatness that I possess is going to waste because a man isn't there to validate that. That's annoying. That is annoying. However, I'm also aware that I love rom-coms and I want that in my own life. Like, I don't mind holding hands. I love a man staring in my eyes and telling me I'm beautiful. I do. So I'm not upset with the woman who's frustrated with her dating situation, because I also know the longing, not the emptiness necessarily. I'm not saying that I'm empty without it, but if I long for something, I long for something. Just because you desire a romantic relationship doesn't mean that you feel like you are empty as a woman. So sometimes I'm also bothered by women who don't want to be in a relationship, causing women who do want to be in a relationship to feel bad, as if you are not a feminist or you are not a strong woman if you desire the companionship of a man. That doesn't fit me either. So what I learned about myself is that while I'm annoyed by men who think I need them, I'm also annoyed by the population of people who feel like I'm not strong or women are not strong if they love love. We just have desires. You're not a better person if you don't love it. Come on, let's just get it together. I love empowering women to have a greater sense of self. Like, I do subscribe to certain parts of the laws of attraction. I'm very aware that the essence of who I am radiates, and what I attract might also be because of whatever signals I'm putting out there. Okay. What do I mean when I say that? Because those are all fanciful terms. That if I'm always negative, I'm going to attract negative people. Misery loves company. If I love to dress well, the people who come into my life are probably going to be people who dress well, because they're going to notice me, but they see themselves in me, and that curates the conversation. So when it comes to the intangible things, what you don't see, but what you sense, that also has its layer of attraction. If I'm always putting out there, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Then there's a possibility that I'm going to attract guys who need a bunch of help. And while the conversation initially might be, oh yes, we have these things in common, there's also an essence of, oh, she's very nurturing and I need a woman too, right? Is that always the case? No. But what I did realize is that I needed an energy shift, and I help women do that. So let's build your confidence so that way you can attract a more confident man, so that way you can be more confident in a job interview, so that way you can sit in fine dining establishments alone and not feel away. So it's not always about attracting the opposite sex. It's about living a life of confidence. But should you attract someone, the quality of the person that you might attract might increase because the quality of the person that you are emitting has improved. That's the whole goal. And that's what I learned about myself over time. And what I realized in my focus group is that when I am not speaking to her, I am not effective. So I walked away with some questions and some feedback for my coach and my sphere of influencers, my friends who know business, my friends who know marketing, you know, talking to people that I know. So I have some single friends who are powerful and confident and secure and still love love. What I needed to do was ask them, okay, y'all, I'm putting together this focus group. What do you see here? If you're just reading this and you don't know me, what would you think that this group is going to be about? That's the question I should have asked. Why did I ask it though? Because there's a part of me that just doesn't want to expose what I'm doing, because I'm afraid if I fail, then I got to explain that to you, and I'd rather pop out and show y'all, right? But I am coming to a place in my own journey where vulnerability is key. And when I tell you that has been the mindset shift of a lifetime, because I thought all this time that I was exceptionally vulnerable, but really what I've mastered is transparency. I don't mind telling you all my business when the goal is to help you feel safe enough to share. I realize that I fear that I might be judged, and I don't ever feel like I'm going to be judged in front of strangers, but I do feel that way sometimes in front of friends. And when I say judged, I don't necessarily mean judged harshly. I don't think that my friends are going to tell me, hey, Tam, you real dumb for that. But because I'm not secure and sure of what it is that I'm doing, I'm afraid that if I put myself out there, then their questions are going to help me second guess myself, because while I thought this was all perfect and I had it figured out, I then come to the harsh realization that I have nothing figured out. And check this out. That's what I learned in the focus group that I just hosted, that I have nothing figured out. I actually don't. And I failed in essence in front of all of my participants, but I succeeded in realizing who my ideal client is not, what I have the capacity for, what it is that I actually, this camera's dropping all the time, what I actually enjoy talking about, who I thrive in talking to, and that either way, I'm going to be forced into vulnerability. So it might be my best bet to fall in front of people who want to catch me, who want to see me succeed, than people who, as soon as they log off, they forgot that I exist and actually don't care. It is in my best interest to not want to be perfect in front of the people who want me to win, especially if those people can help me win. I will fall less if I just present to them what it is I'm trying to do, because they can help save a lot of time, energy, and mental gymnastics on things that aren't going to work. I found out that I might be too deep in my thinking. Like, I might be thinking way too much into it because it's mine. Because it's mine. Here's another way to put it. My first child, I did all the things. I read all the books. My second child, she's a girl, but I'm not doing as much reading and research because I've had some practice. My third child raised himself. I realized with my third child that some of the stuff that I was such a stickler on, it did not matter. So if I were to have a conversation with a new mother, I would let her know, girl, these kids like to play with plastic spoons. Do not spend all your money on these baby gadgets. He's not going to care about the most expensive teething ring. He wants to bite your knuckles. That's what he wants. And my friends could have done the same thing for me. Yeah. So all of that to say, people, as I travel to this here job, is I am going to do a better job with leaning on my support system, because they are that. And I want to be more proactive in leaning on my support system as opposed to asking them to rescue me. I can actually lean on them to support me. That way, we can all celebrate the journey and the victory. And since I'm on this journey, I may as well bring everybody else along, because my friends are real smart. And I found out that I'm the dummy for not pulling on their genius before I put myself out there to a bunch of strangers who are expecting something from me and I don't even know what to deliver. I found out in front of them that I have no idea what I'm doing. But this next time, I got them. So while I do pride myself on being a strong single woman who is confident in or outside of a relationship, I also understand that a lot of us love and want relationships, and I love having those conversations. So instead of avoiding the conversation that centers men or love or relationships, I need to lean into it because I can speak to it. I can actually speak to having been disappointed on multiple levels and still love and believe in it and have high hopes for it, and still feel a way when a man holds your hand and allows you to lay on his shoulder. You still feel all the feels. I can actually speak to that woman. So that's who I'm going to speak to, and that's who I'm going to market to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off of here, and I'm going to do market research with my ideal client, who's my friends. My support system. I'm going to actually call my homegirls and be like, listen, look over this flyer, this invitation, this blurb, and let me know what it sounds like to you. Because I know what I think it sounds like, but what does it actually sound like? And what do I need to fix and all that kind of stuff? And that way I can win. And you can win too. So let me go and conquer this day, because now I'm close to my job, get my mind together, and we're going to win there. And this is the countdown to whatever's next. Talk to you guys later.